Good afternoon from Sacred Space at Titania's Realm. I'm home from visiting Raby Bay beaches and Cleveland Point Beach with my long time wonderful friend Jared. We had a lovely day. We had fish and chips near Cleveland Point, and then he showed me this little tiny beach not far from where the where the restaurant was, and we found sea glass for my silversmithing journey, and we found some lovely shells which we collected to use as offerings for the fae. When we go on forest walks, we can leave little seashells as offerings because it's something the forest fae don't get to see very often. I thought that was a lovely idea of his. So we collected those, and I'm very tired because I've been up since 6 o'clock and I didn't walk too much, but I'm probably tired from all the wonderful fresh sea air, which is good for my lungs actually. But it was a lovely day. So it's the current time is 4:35 p.m. and it's the 15th of July 2024. And I got Charlie out. She's missed me because I was gone since this morning, and so she's been missing me, haven't you, baby girl? Yes, you have. I know. But don't worry, Mama T's home now. It's all happening. We're cooking on gas. Yes. So we'll carry on. Today's offerings, journal entries, are titled Tiptoe Through the Tulips. Kiss me with your two lips. Keep both faces true. Well, what does Borat say? Wah wah wee wah is nice. I just threw that in. That's not actually written down there. That was a little bit of ad-libbing, or what's the word? There's a word for it. Anyway, doesn't matter now. I just threw that in just for sheer mischief. You can tell when I'm happy. I get mischievous. Not in a bad way, usually. So, yes. So I've had a lovely day and I'm very grateful. And here we go, continuing. Charlie, I come home. She hasn't seen me all day. She's got to get the maximum amount of poos on me to make up for the fact that I've been gone all day. Yes, that wasn't very nice, Charlie. This was a lovely blouse I've got on. And it was clean before I came home to you anyway. Yes, I know. All right, you just do what you have to do, Charlie. You do what Charlie does best. Poopykins on to mama. Here's a tulip. This is why I was referencing tiptoeing through the tulips in my garden, in my pot that I planted out some years ago. Haven't planted any more tulips for a couple of springs now. So maybe next year I might plant some out. It's time to have tulips again at Holland Park, don't you think? I mean, if you live in Holland Park, there should be tulips, am I right? Well, anyway, there's enough things of Holland around this house, like clogs and more clogs, and reminders of Holland, even though technically I don't have Dutch ancestry. But having been raised by a Dutchman, it's kind of infiltrates your psyche a little bit, I guess. Also, Holland is very close to Germany, so, let's not split too many hairs. Anyway, here we go, 15th of July, 2023. I shared a video, it's already uploaded, of the beautiful, spectacular view and just the wave cap. It's all looking like little diamonds under the sunlight. And I asked Jared, because my phone had died. Mysteriously, my battery died. Got all sucked out on the drive over. It was a bit weird. But anyway, hopefully I don't have to exercise or smudge my car. But anyway, where was I? Oh yes, I asked him to make the video of the beautiful view, and I've posted it up here on YouTube and on Facebook. And it was just so lovely to see the ocean again, and all the beautiful colours and the fresh salt air. It's just what I needed. So now the temperature's dropping, my lungs are feeling fucking woeful again, but what can I say? It's a living, people. It's a living. I've been doing this all my life, so I might as well just keep doing it. Keep doing it, babies. And hanging in there literally by a thread some days. Lady Death keeps tapping me on the shoulder and I keep tapping her back. You can wait, not today, not yet, maybe soon, maybe later, but not right now. Kind of have to laugh. Sometimes it gets a little bit too intimate, that lambada that she and I like to engage in. Anyway, so I said to Jared that I'm grateful that I got to have my wild dance on Friday night, and I'm grateful, even though it went a little bit bad at the end, but never mind. And I'm grateful that I got to see the ocean today and breathe the fresh salt air, and I'm grateful for Charlie, who's drinking my tea right now. There's a lot to be grateful for, and I'm hanging in there, kids. I'm hanging in there, kids. So 1 year ago I wrote, 1 year ago, my goodness, 4:20 a.m. I am home from dancing. There was a very weird vibe at the Live Wire bar last night. Not many people, less and less each weekend. Odd. Not knowing that very shortly after I was about to leave that permanently as well, that space. One of the security guards approached me to tell me to go sit on the couches and not on the stage. Because I had this, it is rude to sit on stages actually, to be fair, but I had my own tiny little corner right tucked at the end on the corner, and I'd been sitting there for 12 years. But all of a sudden, they decided that they didn't want me there anymore, so they started harassing me, which is why I left. But anyway, I told him I had sat in this spot for 12 years, which happens to be the truth, people of Earth. Really, he said, looking agitated and aggressive. I replied, really? Ask anyone. Ask the other security guards. Ask the regulars. They will tell you. He then said he had never seen me before, which was a blatant lie, but I played along handsomely by replying flatly that I had never seen him before either. He walked away. They had been watching me like a hawk all night, which was a tad unsettling. I suspect that since they got rid of Sigal, my Israeli friend Sigal, by accusing her of stealing, which I find highly suspect and unlikely, that the powers that be will try to get rid of me next. And that proved to be not just a suspicion, but factual based too. Oh, anywho, moving on is not the same thing as giving up, babies. Just remember that. I will keep dancing until they prevent me from doing so. The last time I was prevented was by the idiotic, bioengineering, specificity, governmental mandates. Twat gobblers. But anyway, that was the only time they were able to prevent me from dancing my dance. Anyway, it is what it is, people of Earth. Mama T keeps on dancing, no matter what, no matter who, no matter how nasty and virulent it gets. I'm very resilient, but I tell you, the way things are going, maybe it's time I hung up my boots permanently and just succumb to getting old disgracefully in other ways. Don't know what other ways, but I'll think of something. But no, for now I enjoy my dance, and hopefully everything is okay and copacetic, and everything will carry on regardless, no matter what. Yes, Charlie, your mother. But it does not behoove one to harass me, especially when I'm in my dance trance that I get into after 3 or 4 hours of dancing. Do not annoy or hassle or flick your hair against my back or touch me in any way when I am in full trance. Like, hello? July 15th, 2022. I feel very emotionally heavy today, like being slathered in a clay that is drying out and tightening around my head. Not a good omen. When I feel like this, it is an early warning system that major vicious attacks from various sources are impending. Usually it is. I'm usually right on track too. I'm sitting on the grass getting sunshine warmth on my back. My lower lip inside next to my teeth is swollen still, a bit tender, but slightly improved since the past few days. Pardon me. I think it may be a reaction to the Brio steroid I'm taking for my lungs. Indeed it was. It was kind of an adverse reaction to that steroid. It made my whole freaking mouth break out into weird ulcers and swell up, and it was nasty. The things we do to breathe. Anyway, I won't ever take that medication again. Foul it was. It's bad because the Seretide I have for my lungs doesn't actually work on me anymore either. So that was the alternative, and then I reacted to it. So drugs are not good, okay? Not good at all. And then I would take things like naturally, like large doses of garlic and onions, but my gut can't tolerate it. So I can't even have natural antibiotics now. It's really quite frightening. It's like the gods just want me to hang by a thread, see how far I can dance before they let the thread go snip. Watch me fall into the abyss. But I've climbed out of abysses before, many times. Wasn't easy, but I've done it, so it's not wise for the gods to torment me like that when they know that I can come up, drag my way up and out of it, time and again. I just get so tired. I don't really want to have to keep doing that, by the way. The Bach flower essences are helping, as I coughed up some dark green gunk this morning. Not much, but enough to know it's moving the hell out of my chest, which is a good sign. I've been debriefing a friend with serious health issues who was actively suicidal, so that has been upsetting. She gave up her 2 beautiful dogs, so I know her intentions to end her life are serious. She loved those dogs. I rang Mandurah Hospital Mental Health, and they were totally disinterested in trying to find her, telling me there would be hundreds of patients by that first name, and it might not even be the name she is under. I got distressed and told the person on the phone, so pay some homeless person $5 to visit every patient with that name and find out if she recently relinquished 2 dogs. I would do that if I was physically there to save her life. The blasé inhumanity and laziness and acopic behaviours of our era is just fucking startling. It's like no one does their job anymore in the medical profession or cares. I mean, there's a few, don't get me wrong. It's not fair for me to say no one. My urologist and my psychiatrist are working very hard with me, but I'm talking about in hospital situations. It's very frightening, people. Very frightening indeed. But my friend messaged me that she is in hospital and still alive, so where there is life, there is hope, I suppose. I will batten down my emotional hatches. I need to heal myself first and foremost. That was back 2 years ago when I was, ill like I am now, but actually kind of worse because I was so weak I was having to hug the walls to get around, navigate around the house. I was very, very ill and I'm not getting proper treatment, so it was abhorrent what happened to me. But I survived it because I'm still complaining about it 2 years later. Yes, bye-bye, bye-bye. Watching The Northman on Dindy Home to Rent, fantastic movie. I really enjoyed that, The Northman. If you're interested in the Norse or the Viking culture, great movie. Mama T should be out dancing. It's Friday night, my mojo night, but instead I'm tucked up in bed getting old, the old-fashioned way. Do you want to sing it, Charlie? Here we go. Dance in the old-fashioned way. La 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 la. La la. Charles Aznavour. Charles Aznavour. What do you reckon? Do you want to dance with Mama in the old-fashioned way? She says, no, I dances like this. It's sort of how Mama dances too. Up and down, up and down. One foot stomping beside the other. Going as hard and as fast as we can. I know, you're so happy to see your mummy. You was a beautiful birdie. Yes, you was. I got to see some ibis birds today. They wanted some of our chips, but I'd greedily eaten them all. So I gave them the crumbs. And even though they only got little tiny crumbs, they were still very happy and grateful with that. And smiled at me and nibbled the crumbs. Because yes, we always share, don't we, Charlie? Mama T, where am I? No, I've read that. Blah, blah. Lost my shit. Hang on, where are we? Oh yeah, we were up to dance in the old-fashioned way. It's too cold to be out tonight. Or rather, I have not felt well all day. I thoroughly enjoyed the Northman movie. That almost inspired me to push myself out into the world and dance my dance sublime. Maybe tomorrow night, if I feel better, no, Charlie, I need to protect my body, mind and spirit more, not Mustang Quay myself to oblivion. That means push myself to oblivion. Lila Tov, good night. 15th of July 2021, 12:57 a.m. Lila Tov. I had a very productive day. I made another knitted ghost tonight. Well, the body of it. Still have the arms and ball and chains to make. I am exhausted, but content with my life in this moment. Yes, Charlie? Are you content with life in this moment, Charlie? She's nibbling me frenetically. Yes, Mama T. I's a very content birdie. That's interesting. Very interesting. Just a sort of a bit of a collage of photos of me from over the last few years. What was interesting was I had 2 feathers in my hair that day. I wore that outfit to drumming with my purple jacket and my purple top hat. And I had my beads and 2 feathers. I've decided I'm going to try and buy another eagle feather. I'm upset that I lost my other one. And I'm going to try and have to make it so that I can clip it onto the hair rather than twist the feather around, because that's how I broke that beautiful feather and lost it. Damn it. Bobo's in heaven, Charlie. No amount of calling out for Bobo will bring him back. Hate to tell you that, but that's facts, darling. He might reincarnate back into another doggy though, and he might come back to mummy that way, but I'm not so sure I want to put myself through that ever again. All the upset losing another doggy. So let's just be happy we've got each other, huh? You and me, baby. Yes, I know. I finished off the frame. I matched up the 2 copper catches that I was unhappy with. I painted the copper catches with triple glaze, so hopefully that will stop them from tarnishing. I had to glue one of the catches top right back in, as the wood is so old it was no longer grabbing the screw. Hopefully it's okay now. I have hung it back up, and yes, I feel smug and accomplished. Little things I achieve make me happy. I wish my beautiful cat was still alive, that my true love partner had chosen me, that I had enough wealth to live comfortably, that my health was better, that I did not have such a filthy family of origin. But here is proof. That old picture survived Case, Buck, and my mother, and will probably survive me now that I have renovated it. It came to me why I had such difficulty throwing it away. It was probably sentimental to Case, as it used to house the picture of his childhood home. But no big deal. Today I had an intuition that it might have been gifted to him by his mother, whom he adored, and that is why it's still with us. He did not leave home, apart from his 1.5 years in the concentration camp, until he was 30. He was a mummy's boy and loved to gamble with her at Clavius. He was also a womanizer, and yes, an opportunistic predator on small children, namely me, referring to me as the bonus. If I could have my time with him again, I would set him on fire and watch him burn, but I suppose he is already burning in a small corner of hell. So there is that. I am free of all of them, and it was no mean feat. I barely survived them and their predations and their treachery and other vileness. But yes, Hineni, here I am, brave, staunch, and slightly maddened, but clear-eyed and strong, and yes, looking forward to the future promised me by the gods at my last serious near-death experience. The rectifications and recalibrations falling thick and fast, I am witnessing it, my becoming. If I play my cards right, I might be in a vastly different and better space in the next 5 years. When did I write this? 2021, wasn't it? I said. Let's scroll back. Yes, so 3 years ago. Well, you know what? Not far off. It's 3 years later. I am in a slightly, I wouldn't say vastly, but I am in a better space than I was in 2021. So that part has actually manifested. So awesome. High five, Tanya Aarons. Where were we? Ah, yes. It's hard to imagine a life where I'm truly safe, loved, protected, and surrounded by friends, family, and a life partner who honour me with deep respect and unconditional love. It's a psychedelic dreamer's dream I have been manifesting for a long, long time. As reality has shifted into something even darker and uglier than most horror movies, I find myself ever more determined to have the life that was stolen from me by monsters and by complex trauma. I beg the gods, please, please stop killing off my pets. You want me? Fucking come and get me, which they nearly did early Thursday morning. But stop the torture of taking away those I love and trust in the most. The innocent ones whose every breath is love. I am done suffering like this. It's enough. Well, the gods had other plans. They took Socks and they took Sophie and they took Beauregard last year, so that prayer was not taken notice of, and now it's just the last little one and Mama T, and we're holding each other close, aren't we, Charlie? We're holding each other as close as we possibly can. I know I prayed to be able to afford to travel to all the sacred spaces across the world and to have enough to live happily ever after in Byron Bay. I did pray for that many, many, many times. But that money never manifested, and let's face it, it would cost millions, and I am cast into this life of scarified torment for no good reason other than my family of origin and former husband robbed me over and over again. So now I make spiritual gold out of the remnant shit. Like a weaving and furiously stomping Rumpelstiltskin, the gods called my name, and I answer only to them. Vicious and capricious as they are, it's all I know. Well, they gave me a lovely day, the gods, and I'm grateful. So they're not always vicious and capricious, just when they kill my pets or almost kill me over and over again. That gets a bit tiring after a while. Trust me on that one. Dear Goddess, I want my truest, deepest love to come to me and choose me, but that might never happen. So I will be the truest, deepest love I never had with any other mortal. I will love me back to life, and I will love me to the brink of death. I am used to living on the edge of mortality and reason, but it's not fucking reasonable or terribly pleasant. Socks' ashes arrive on Monday, and that will be another sorrow. But love gifted me by that cat who was larger than life, physically and spiritually, can never be taken away. To you, Socks. He was an amazing cat, an amazing spirit. Love is what remains after everything is said and done, and yes, stomped into the ground and primal screamed to the seventh echelons of hell, where my former kith and kin reside. Even the devil cannot interfere with a love that won't give up on life or each other. And God knows, he tried, laughing my ass off. I am calling home my beloveds from all paradigms to heal my life and my planet, to gift us the beauty, peace, good health and prosperity, and the wholesome, true love long denied us, with harm to none and competition with none, blessed and protected by God and his archangels. I await the becoming even better in the months to come. And what a journey that was. The last few years have been constant battling with my health. But here we go. I've showed you that picture before, but I wanted to show you that I had replaced the copper hinge with the right matching one, and she came up pretty lovely, I think, considering that I'm an amateur and never made hinges before for a picture frame. So yes, very, very interesting. This afternoon's task, cutting this blind to size 150 centimetres on both sides, then cleaning it. Not sure how I'm going to hang it up by myself, but I think I managed to install the last one in my bedroom by myself. So I will have another crack at it. My last one finally broke. If this one doesn't work out, I will have to buy a new one, so I was hoping to avoid that. There are 2 more extra long ones under this house that I got given for free, so if this one works out, I will cut those 2 to size for the living room. It's time I stopped living like a pauper and made something out of my acquisitions. Ho-hum. Yeah, I heard that too, Charlie. Sounded like somebody was whistling out to you. It's probably someone calling their dog or something. There's the blind. Did sound like someone going. There's no one out there, Charlie. There's no one out there. I'm currently striving to screw in the hardware for my newly renovated second-hand blind. Fuck my life. Life isn't meant to be this difficult, innit? But I've managed this before, and I will do so again. If it takes all night. Update. I give up. I've run out of oxygen and any ounce of strength I might have fantasized that I had. I will have to sleep without the blind tonight and try again tomorrow. I will need to bring in my big drill to unscrew the screws and install new ones. I was unable to remove them by hand. If I can't do the job tomorrow with the big drill, I will have to hire a handyman. It's ridiculous how hard everything is. 15th of July 2020, and I posted another collage of photos of me when I was little on Santa Claus's knee. Ugh, yuck. But anyway, another reason to hate Christmas, people of Earth. Anyway, where were we? I like that photo of me though, blowing kisses to the void with full makeup on. Oh, where were we? This one. I like that one. That's one of my favourites, actually. So there we go. Every now and then Mama T scrubs up okay. Other times I look like the wreck of the Hesperus, but what can I say? It's spiral up, spiral down, finding the happy medium or median. Everything's zen. I said that in a video yesterday. I'm going to have to get that out. I used to love that song by Bush. Everything, 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 everything's zen. It's the most un-zen-like song there is, but that's my sense of humour. I loved it so much. I might play it later. My beautiful Laura Martin in Canada wrote, Bellissima, you look gorgeous in red. Oh, that's very sweet of you. Thanks, Laura. It's one of my favourite colours. Laura wrote, red is a power colour. And I replied, I'm an Aries and love wearing red. Used to get screamed at by my ex-lover David Davidson for wearing red. He said it was too masculine and emasculating of men if I wear it. Like, fuck off, you idiot. What a complete idiot. I used to have sex with that idiot. Horrible thought, isn't it? Oh my God. Then my friend Laura wrote, me too. Red and fuchsia are my favourite colours. She'll like this old cardigan that I renovated in fuchsia. I lost a butterfly today. I've got to get another button. Lost one. I think I might have a spare somewhere. If not, I'll have to source another wooden butterfly button. Oh. My psychiatrist a few months ago told me not to wear red, as he says it intimidates men. As if I care about men being intimidated. If they don't like me wearing red, they can go away and pester some other female wearing, I don't know, puce or blue or green or black-eyed peas. I don't really care. But anyway, my ex-lover Davidson used to say the same thing to me. I got very triggered and angry, as quite frankly, I don't dress for male approval. I really don't. Even when I wear my corsets, I dress for my own pleasure and power. If the men happen to enjoy what I've got on and admire how I look, then that's their perception, but it's never to please them. I do very little, in fact, to go out of my way to please men. You have to treat me very, very marvellously indeed before I even bother half the time to give you the time of day. Never mind. If a man tells me how to dress, instant goodbye. My husband made that mistake on our very first blind date. I should have instant goodbyed him then and there, by the way. Would have saved me decades of horror. Anyway, what can I say? I learnt from that. Don't let a man put you down or tell you how to dress. If they don't like you the way you are or how you present yourself, then they're never going to like you, no matter how many times you turn yourself inside out, do the downward dog or the lickety splits or evacuate your own soul so you can become someone you're not, so they might like you one day, knowing that they'll never like you because they never had any real honourable intentions to you in the first instance when they started that abuse dynamic, by the way. Anyway, remind me to breathe. Red is my favourite colour and I look and feel good in it. So I told my doctor that it was errant misogyny. I wear whatever colour makes me happy. We occasionally have these little disagreements. I have been in therapy with him for 10 years now, try 14. But every now and then he pushes my buttons. It's part of the therapy, to see if I still react strongly like I just did. which buttons are still not good to push, babies. So anyway, obviously I've not done too much healing lately, if I'm still annoyed about that. But it's only because I'm reminded, because it came up in my memories. He always comments on my defiance, which has kept me alive all my life. He also comments that I'm a very powerful woman and would have been a powerful child, that it was my intellect that helped me survive. Most of the time, I don't feel very powerful, as my family of origin and subsequent partners stripped me of everything: homes, money, safety, joy, etc., etc., etc. But I always fought for myself and others like me who live in the Shadowlands with monsters. So I suppose that is where my power lies. I never gave up completely on myself. No, I did not, babies. And there were times when it was very hard not to. My friend Laura wrote, I've been told the same thing by some people, that I am intimidating, especially when wearing red. That is their problem, not ours. People who try to shame you for living in your power do not deserve to be a part of your life, and they certainly do not deserve any space in your head. It took me 65 years to learn that lesson, and I have never felt so much at peace with myself and the universe. Stay strong and powerful. And I replied, absolutely, my girl, absolutely. When my psychiatrist comes out with silly, misogynistic stuff like that, he is an awesome doctor and is usually very protective and supportive. I tell him it's time he has a holiday, and he usually does take one too, winky face, because psychiatrists get tired too. They're dealing with very, very varying degrees of very mentally unwell people with varied illnesses, some very, very, very fraught and bad. And, as a professional, as a health professional, they suffer burnout and get tired too. So, sometimes when the button pushing happens occasionally, which is, as I said, part of the therapy, I just say, time to have a little holiday, my beautiful doctor. You need a rest. I'll see you after the Christmas break. And we carry on where we left off. Sometimes I'm a bit out of line and I act like I'm his doctor, but, we're human. We're all human. And every now and then, we also need to be bolstered up. Am I right? Not all the time that it becomes a bad transference or threatens the therapeutic alliance, but human beings, even doctors, need to know that they matter and that they're valued and appreciated, which he is very much valued and appreciated by me, by the way. So there is that. My friend Laura Martin wrote, Nolite te bastardos carburandorum. Don't let the bastards grind you down. Margaret Atwood, The Handmaid's Tale. And I replied with a smiley face with lots and lots of smiles, which I made up that emoji. It means I'm jumping with enthusiastic joy. Yes. A profound yes. And I replied, they will never grind us down again, although I find it fascinating watching them try, like watching a train wreck. I realised yesterday, they meaning in the general sense of people who are being abusive, not referring to one person in particular. I realised yesterday that all of my former and no doubt current enemies were actually extraordinarily weak people. They sought power by seeking to destroy me, which was so pointless. They had their own power all along, but wasted it on being empty vessels and mindlessly cruel fuckers when they could have simply chosen to be happy. Who would have thought? It's really that simple and also that difficult. Laura wrote, so true, much like my brothers who are so pathetic, the only way they can feel good about themselves is by attacking and destroying others. And I replied, hugs. Then she continued, after all I endured last year with all their vicious attacks, I'm done with them. They are dead to me. They can fuck off and keep fucking off until they see a sign which says, no fucking off beyond this point. Then they can disobey the sign and continue to fuck off. And I laughed and I wrote back, I know exactly how you feel. I just finished dictating my diaries, going out to burn the last 10 pages. So painful that I need to get drunk. But no matter how foul my life has been, I am not dependent on booze or drugs, and after all the abuse, that is a fucking miracle. But a drink would have been nice. Yes, they can fuck off and keep fucking off. Kiss, kiss, kiss. She replied, I know how you feel. That is why I never smoked or drank, because I feel that I have an addictive personality. So I'm not dependent on drugs or alcohol, but I am a sugar whore. And I laughed and I wrote back, I love sugar too. And she replied, Lindt chocolate truffles, peppermint patties, yum. Peanut butter cups, oh yummy. Any kind of chocolate that melts in your mouth. I also keep a pack of fruit-flavoured Mentos on my desk at all times. That is the hardest thing to give up for a few weeks because I'm always munching on Mentos while I work. And I replied, my last love interest, that was that idiot Dave back in the day, told me sugar was the food of the devil, but I told him quite truthfully, it's also the only reason I am still living. It kept me going as a small traumatized child. 'Tis my only comfort, even now, although I try not to overindulge as much as I used to. I can't really say I've cut back. I just kind of go through periods where I don't eat much lollies or chocolate and just throttle off a little bit, and then I'll go through periods where I'll kind of binge a little bit. But I don't seem to do too much binging anymore. I'm just I've been so ill in recent months that at one stage a few weeks ago I was eating a block of chocolate a day, which the last time I did that I ballooned out in weight to 103 kilos. But anyway, I had a block of chocolate a day for about a week and I thought, oh, Tanya, that's dangerous. But you know what? I actually lost weight, lost it. That's how I know I'm really not well. One who eats a large block of chocolate a day should not be losing weight. So I'm a bit worried about that, to be honest. But I've eased off on the chocolate again, and I haven't had any today. No chocolate, no lollies. But I had fish and chips, which is not all that healthy either. But I very rarely have fish. I have cod and chips. It's the only seafood I eat. So fish is good for you occasionally. I'm not that bothered. But oh my goodness. I don't even have any chocolate in the house at the moment because I know I have to stop doing that. It will give me diabetes and ultimately it will kill me. So, but then, we think these negative, dark thoughts and they're not always true. You just go through phases where you just feel like you need that little bit of extra chocolate, and then you go through phases when you don't want it at all. It seems to be what's happening. My body is shifting and changing and doing very strange things that I don't quite understand, but anyway. Laura wrote, when I was little, you could get a whole bag of candy for 5 or 10 cents, which was true when I was little too. I used to draw, which is 65 back then. What year was this? 2021? 2020, I think. Anyway, I think she's about, 5 or 7 years older than me, so. But it was the same when I was little. I used to love, my dad was taxi driving when I was about 6, when I was in my second year of primary school. And he'd give me a 50-cent piece. And I used to always take a great delight in the design on the 50-cent, New Zealand 50-cent piece, because it's the Endeavour, the ship that Captain Cook colonised the South Pacific with, the Endeavour ship. It's a beautiful coin. And he would flick it to me and say, yeah, buy yourself some lunch with that. And I'd go, oh yeah, thanks Daddy. And I'd admire the coin. And then at lunchtime I would go to the local, we call our convenience stores dairies. Here they used to be called milk bars in Australia. I had to relearn from dairy to milk bar and then swap back when I went back to New Zealand. Oh my goodness. But anyway, and I'd take my 50 cents and I'd buy, naughty, very naughty Tanya. I'd buy 50 cents worth of lollies. And in those days, you could buy 4 lollies for 1 cent. So I got the equivalent of $2 worth of lollies. And I used to stand there behind the counter like this, arms folded, waiting very patiently while a very frazzled adult shopkeeper would be counting out all the little lollies and give me a bag, and then they'd hand it to me all frazzled because it was a lot of work. And that would be my most powerful feeling of, I got this big bag of lollies and that adult had to work so hard to provide it for me because I'm a customer, my money's, as good as everyone else's. After a while, that shopkeeper got so frazzled, they said, you can't possibly every day want $2 worth of lollies and it's not good for you. Anyway, someone dobbed me into my teacher and they made me have healthy lunches after that. But I'm not sure if it was the shopkeeper's doing or the teacher noticed I wasn't eating lunches, but anywho. So that little power play got put to a dastardly end, but I tell you what, that went on for weeks and I enjoyed that. I so enjoyed that. My $2 worth of lollies for 50 cents. So here she writes, I used to draw pictures and then go around knocking on the neighbours' doors, selling my pictures for a penny. I often got enough pennies to buy a big bag of candy, and I would always get some that my mother and father liked to share with them. Oh, she's a good little girl, wasn't she? Wasn't quite as, a little bit, let's face it, a little bit mischievous and entitled as I was at 6 years old, but I kind of felt like, given what was going on in the family home, any time that I could get run up and run over the adults in my family of origin or those around me, I used to feel very, very, very contented and satisfied indeed. You can't really blame me. You really can't blame me for being a brat under those circumstances. But anyway, I wrote back to her how clever you were and or are. She wrote back, I've always been a very resourceful person, especially when raising 2 children as a single mother. I think you must have been as well. surviving the life you have had? And I replied, not so much resourceful, but blessed with good friends who were generous and floated us along in the darkest times. And there were many dark, dangerous times. Then I wrote, getting my stitches out tomorrow, Blech. I spent the day dictating my diaries into Word, only 30 pages left to do, but I'm very tired now. I will finish them tomorrow. I should buy myself a bottle of wine to celebrate after I finish them. It's been severely triggering, but there were also a few funny, quirky memories in amongst most of that horror. I burnt the pages I had typed up in my fire. No more physical diaries, but I have them saved in digital media. No more clutter. Yay! 11:11 p.m. Angels everywhere. So many ladders scrambling for ascension, but the fallen ones are dragging them back to earth. Kaplom! Down the rabbit's hole goes the hobbit. I once, my precious, but what is it? Never mind, Tanyela. Better luck next time. Sotto voce muttering, fuck off. Fade to black. That was in 2020. 15th of July 2019. I woke up feeling sad, thinking about the cruel people in my life, especially ones I loved with everything I had and or have. The wind is wild outside. It is cold. Another fucking day in paradise. But I must get up. I have twinges of pain in my side where the drain wound was. 20 days after surgery. Shit. But all good. I had a beautiful day yesterday, lying on the grass with my animals, alone but loved by pure hearts and great gods. So today I will make beautiful too. I have the power. Sally wrote, try to think of the people who love you. In the end, they matter way more than the ones that don't. Kiss, kiss. And Catherine Holdsworth wrote, yes, think of all that's good in your life. That's like Sally has said, the people that love you, because they know my proclivities when I get trapped too far down in the abyss, when I can go down into that suicidal space. So I think they were reading between the lines and trying to kick me back up again, babies. And I wrote back, I honestly tried to overcome it millions of times. Truly, have you not seen the creature that resilient showed up every weekend and danced to tribal dance in celebration of life, even in the face of so many mortal, fetid, vicious enemies? Or the creature that rose from her own health crisis to bollock the abusing doctors. By that I meant confront the abusing doctors. Only to be abused more when my daughter picked me up because of the systemic abusive, inadequate hospital parking. Why was I punished by the vagaries of fate? Yes, indeed, even now, 5 years later, I still want to know why I was targeted in that way, by the way. It was hyenas. Enough. I am done. I know you love me in your way, Catherine. Blessings. Kiss. I am not angry. Not really. I am just desolate, abandoned, and betrayed. And like all emotions, they pass. I was actually happy in the weeks before I was so suddenly booked in for surgery. Even my psych noticed it. It had taken me 3 months to heal from the colonoscopy. I suspect this will take longer. It did. It took 2 whole years. It took 2 years to recover from my hysterectomy too. All good. I have the power. Choices and decisions will be made. I've had a wake-up call and see through all the hypocrisy and or ignominious bullshit. Nothing like almost dying to bring great clarity. Not drama, reality, sweetheart. I am already in the sunshine. If everyone thinks I'm just whinging and drama queening, then please feel free to unfriend or block me. No one here is a prisoner of my love or thoughts or feelings. I'm talking about writing on Facebook, but it applies to YouTube too. You always have the power of the X button to turn me off if you think that I'm, not all who I say I am, or you think that I'm drama queening, or you think I'm a liar or whinger. You're wrong about that, but if that's what you really think, don't come here and watch my videos. You're not going to get anything out of them. You're not going to learn anything. You're not going to achieve anything. You're not going to grow. And you're certainly not going to be worthy of being my friend. Simple as. I continue writing here. I'm well aware of how many schadenfreudic false friends squat like toads on my page. Perhaps they are learning something, or perhaps they will fall off eventually. I no longer care. My page, my life, my dreams, my hopes. I lost a daughter over a fucking car park, or that she might have had to do one kind thing for a mother. Pick her up from hospital, which could have been done without attacking me when I was already in a heightened trauma state after the massive fight at the hospital. I mean, are you serious? Are you fucking serious? Can you even imagine how fucked up that feels? No? No one gets it. Not their reality. Happy, happy, joy, joy, dance and fucking drink and blink and it's all over. Meaningless shit. But I am okay. I have sunshine and a dog and a great, great spirit inside me. And thank God for the powerful spirit that was gifted to me to inhabit this body, mind, and soul. Thank God for that power manifested by the gods, or I would not be here. I would not have made it through the last 5 years. I can assure you of that. Pardon me. My heart can no longer sustain any more evil, false people, including my own child. If I am to survive, I must detach, which I did do for quite some time. I have lost 2 kids now, cousin. But is it really a loss if they never had any authentic love, respect, and or care for me? Maybe it is actually a great release. Indeed it is, my darlings. Indeed it is. But today I woke up grieving, and I will honour my impulses. Even a warrior goddess who still is scorned, betrayed, and hated for her very existence must allow herself the privilege of a day of grief. I've grieved for a lifetime over fools not worth a moment of my time, not worth a spit out of my mouth or my sweetest, most adoring kisses. You have to go to bed, Charlie, and Mummy got to put the heater on. I know. You're a beautiful girl. You gonna give me adoring kisses? Kissy, kissy, kissy. Mama's little baby. Oh, there she is. You can see yourself. Can you see yourself in the iPhone? Oh, yes, look at that little sweet little baby. I know. So I have been deemed to be unworthy of safety, love, or peace, but I shall have all those things and more before my time on earth is done. A gift I give to myself. Amen, Vasilata, that one. Here I write, I will not indulge in any more surgery since I was treated so abhorrently. I thought I was doing the right thing by choosing life and having a diseased gallbladder excised. But what kind of life have I chosen? Not one worth fighting for as hard as I have done all my life. There will be no more surgeries since I cannot trust humans. I wish I'd followed that last beautiful red thread of a breath I could have gracefully gone out on, were it not for that fucking monitor on my thumb. Since I am expected to barely survive, alone, without after-surgery care, with barely any care at all except from Jared and Lynn and a few cheerleaders on Facebook, thank you, friends, I am grateful, then alone I shall remain. I will heal or not according to my appointed destiny, and I will take every moment of my life, the good, bad, utterly horrific, and the indifferent, with me. I will rejoice in my blossoming into the void. It is beautiful, blessed, honourable. My true loves and true tribe embraces me. I can see them far into another paradigm. We laugh and play by the beach, you and me, Nigel. He'd written to me and said he wished that he could come to visit me here in Brisbane and just play by the beach like children with me, like I did today with my friend Jared, and it was very wonderful. It was really wonderful. Just what I needed, actually. This is still me in 2019. Eek. There we go. Just got my top hat on and that lovely feather that I've just broke off and lost. They look really lovely there. Sometimes I scrub up okay. I said that to you earlier, didn't I? But sometimes I do. Sometimes they look quite attractive. And it's just a shame that I never found the one, or the one never found me, or whatever circumstances got in the way, or whatever. But in the meantime, I'm loving my beautiful friends and the time we spend together, which is almost a sacred trust now. Sacred, yeah. Sacred bonds built on love and camaraderie and trust. 15th of July 2018. It's a glorious morning. So grateful and happy to be here in my garden at Sacred Space, safe from harm, healing my tooth cavity, arduous but not as painful as the last 2 dry sockets. I'm hanging out with my non-human beloveds. Charlie had a bath and looks rather peculiar. He is licking the peanut butter off my toast. There you go, Charlie. That's when you used to eat peanut butter off my toast. She's like, I like his peanut butter, Mama T. Must buy some more. We must buy some more for the Charlie. I might not have a true lover man to treat me like a queen and love me no matter what, but I have beautiful friends, my bird, my cats, my dog, goldfish, a Siamese fighter fish, which are called betters, 2 hens, my beautiful daughter, my cousins and tiny residual family, and the entire universe inside of me. It's true. I had all of those things. I had all of those things in 2018. Maybe I was too happy about it, so the gods ripped those things away from me one by one. Who knows? Who knows what went wrong there, but it is what it is. Cosmic consciousness gleaming in the paradigms, laughter and pure unabated love from the Sephirot. Laura wrote, I'll take the unconditional love of an animal over any man, winky face. And I replied, Amen, sister, Amen. But there are good men out in the world who are capable of loving women like Laura and I, even though we're wild and untamable and indomitable. We're intelligent and we're actually quite sweet. We have so much love to give, and the right man, won't try and abuse us or contain us or treat us any worthy of anything less than powerful, equal, honouring, gracious, romantic, passionate, devoted love. The right man won't fuck it up like all the others did to both my friend Laura and myself. And we won't fuck it up either. When we find the right man, we'll try not to anyway. Sometimes things happen beyond your control, like brawls in your favourite club that probably cast you in a very bad light. So there is that. But even then, my friends showed me how much they love me by, supporting me and advocating for me, even giving me a hug at the end of the evening before I walked away finally to go home. It was very kind and very nurturing and very heartfelt and sweet. So I appreciate you doing that for me, especially after the ugly scene that I participated in. The angels have my back, although they did have a strange habit of sending me men who believed they were angels, but were actually paranoid schizophrenics. No judgment. In fact, I still love the last angel man, although true to form, he turned out to be no angel. Ha ha. Mind you, bear in mind this was back in 2018 and that love eventually did die. Praise the Lord on that one. He was, however, a catalyst for my awakening into my own power as a woman. The more he dishonoured me, the more I fought to empower and love myself in such a way that only good, kind people were drawn to me. So he did me a backhanded favour. I love him greatly, but he will never know what that means. Alas and anon. Next. Anyway, he made mockery of my Jewish God, which, if you know me, is a rather foolish thing to do. I might not be much of a Jew anymore, but I have a close bond with the Holy One, In fact, I am his and or her or their favourite lab rat. And I have one of their holiest names tattooed on my arm. I am that I am, or I am whom I am becoming, because God is eternal and is in a constant process of evolution, of constantly growing and moving forwards in the timeline. Of course, God can move anywhere he likes in the timeline, but you know what I mean? He's constantly evolving and changing along with humanity's perception of that energy as well. What Martin Buber kind of termed the I and the thou. So when the former lover dissed my God by claiming he was a living God and I should worship only him, narcopathic trays, I was bemused when he was instantly smited with severe constipation for 4 hours. I said, of course you can't shit living gods who dishonour the creator of the universes. Quickly find out they are mere mortals after all. Living gods have no need of an alimentary canal. I offered to take him to the hospital because, all that said, I'm actually a true lover and a true friend when I love someone. Sad but true. He demurred. Of course he was full of shit, but he learned a valuable lesson that day. Ho-hum. He got scared of my power. I had nothing to do with his bowel obstruction. And he ran off with another woman. Oh, well, it was a bit of an awe at the time. I was utterly devastated for a long time that the Holy One knows, and the Tanya knows, and that is how it blows. Funny shit, but true. All true. All my stories are completely true. If people can't handle my reality, that's not my problem, because when I tell you these stories, they are completely and utterly true. That's exactly how he spoke to me, and that's how it went down. Oh. I still laugh at my now dead former lover, another David, who once told me, "Come to me in love and submit." So I replied, I submit to no man but God, and even him I argue with. He laughed. What is it about my destiny on this planet that I have been dogged by abusers and traitorous curs in all my sexual relationships? Childhood abuse left a great stain upon my body, psyche, and light body. Bastards. But I forgive myself for not being able to make it in the real world. It's all part of the divine comedy, and someone somewhere has had a lot of fun at my soul's expense. Yes, the Holy One loves his Tanya and won't let me thrive or have a love partner until I have satisfied his quest, whatever the hell that is. Still don't know, by the way. But the fact that love's blossoming around me exponentially, not yet a love, a sexual love affair, but there's just so much love surrounding me. It's almost like someone up there decided to finally cut me some slack at last and allow me the opportunity to discover who my Bichette really is and who wants to be with me and chooses me by his own heart, mind, body, spirit, soul, intellect, emotions. And I'm in that process now. It's all kind of being winnowed out, finding out who's true, who's real, who has my back, my front, my sides, who looks at me with genuine affection and love and sometimes awe and admiration at times. Like an entire club was looking at me like that on Friday night, which was astonishing given that I would have expected a vastly different reaction, quite frankly. But they've seen me before fight my way through situations, and they know I'm a decent person by and large, and they were very kind and compassionate towards me in that moment. To you, my darlings. But I know I am loved by the ancestors and the invincible, inimitable One, by all the myriad gods and goddesses, by the angels, by the elementals, by a few good, kind humans, by life, by myself. And so I am content with my lot. The pillar of salt is behind me. I built it out of tears and trauma, grief and loss, hatred and debasement. It's melting in the desert of lost souls. They lick it and cleave to it and succor their own griefs. But when it joins the sands of time, I will be free. My beautiful friend Laura Martin wrote, "Life is strange. David is the name of the man who drugged, kidnapped, and raped me every day for almost a year before I finally broke free. He knew that my Christian faith is the most important thing to me, so he went out and bought, with money he stole from me, a giant painting of the Hindu elephant god Ganesha, and he tried to force me to kneel down and worship it. Well, you can do a lot of things to me, but the one thing you can never, ever do is make me renounce my God." Why is it that the first thing a man wants to do is control, isolate, and tear down everything that means the most to us? Sick, twisted bastards. Me. I have deeply loved 3 Davids in my life. The first was my father. The second, so good they named him twice, the evil bastard David Davidson. And the third Dave. If I ever meet another David, I know to just smile politely and walk away very, very quickly. All good. I still love the last one, only the gods can even know why, as he was a coward and a runner, a teaser and a cheater. But he came to me in a golden light, and I could feel his energy with such a powerful intensity that I almost believed he was an angel after all. I prefer my men to be real, however, authentic, decent, kind, honourable, and, if in partnership with me, however briefly at least, faithful and loyal. Which is why I have a dog, laughing my ass off. Of course, it has always been almost impossible to find and keep a sexual partner, as I have no money and nothing to offer but myself, also my own CPTSD and intellect makes me wary and gun-shy and intolerant of bullshit. So my next quest is to enjoy the remains of my days and live life ebulliently in spite of my life situation. I lost so much in life, but bit by bit, Creator is gifting it all back to me. Harmonic resonance and karmic justice, since human justice was a filthy lie and a betrayal. Watch this sacred space. The Tanya is back, version 53. Try version 59.3 now. Yeah, 0.3. Don't mess with a daughter of the gods, laughing my ass off. They even rejected me and cast me back to earth when I was 50, so my mission is not fully accomplished yet. And yes, it hurts. But there has been great joy in the rebuilding also. I must say this though, Laura, Ganesha is a fine god. If you look at ancient carvings, he actually is not an elephant at all, but a spaceman with some kind of breathing apparatus, which I now look a bit like a female version of Ganesha every night with my CPAP mask and the tubing. The irony. If you study the ancient Vedas, there were visitors from space that helped the inhabitants of the earth, the gods. My own beloved Holy One was very likely also an extraterrestrial that utilized technology, e.g., the Ark of the Covenant is now understood to have been a radioactive device. So even that jealous, murderous God of my Hebrews may not be the one. Meaning by that although he's a jealous God and demands complete obeisance of his Jewish children of Israel, there may be a supreme being even beyond him that is the supreme creator of everything. You know, it's hard to know. It's hard to know, really. I wasn't there when the gods got created, and I'm not going to fight about it. I respect them all and treat them all with honour. But there's some things that make more sense when you look at the big picture, that there has to have been something far, far greater to create everything, and then to continue constant process of evolution throughout time and space. So the human mind can't actually wrap itself completely around it. It's too much. It's beyond our mortal ken. That's all I have to say about that. Here I write, 5,000 gods can't be wrong. They're all manifestations of the creator of all universes, and all beings, and all that is, was, and ever shall be. Because God is not constrained by, the human constructs of time. Apparently time happens all at the same moment, past, present, future, and there may be a time when we'll be able to slip in and out of different timelines and different periods of time, like walking in one doorway and out the other, a bit like what we were shown in that TV show Stargate, predictive programming, people of Earth. It's probably already been invented somewhere, and they probably already have the technology, but they don't share it with us plebs, that's for sure. Too busy trying to fricking genocide us instead, so they can have their planet for the precious few. That's how it is. It's probably how it's always been, if the truth be known. 2006, the 1916 Guidestones being destroyed a couple of years ago, or last year, or the year before. No longer willing to have the truth right up in our face, because they knew there'd be consequences when the global population finally wakes up to it all. Dear God, I hope they all wake up to it soon. I really do. Here I write, I still believe in the One, as I am still a tiny spark of that divine unity. In this we are all interconnected. I bow before no man, but I love and respect all the gods that teach love, peace, joy, and respect for all life in all paradigms. And if I am wrong, and there truly is no God but constipated love interests, then I will return to the dust of the earth as compost or ashes, and feed the fecund soil to begin the cycle again. Nothing wasted or ever truly lost on Mother Earth, laughing my ass off. Here I shared a photo of my little gatekeeper, my little Beauregard. Looks like I've given him a good brushing there too. It's all nice and fluffy and sweet. Miss Sophie is not overly fond of me, but I'm giving her trained affection. She is enjoying the sunshine, if not the cuddles. Oh, dear goddess. The look on her face is rather priceless. Even my little girl. You're in Valhalla with the other animals now, my sweet little one. Trigger warning, intrafamilial incest. Go and make a cup of tea, or have a lie down, or switch me off. Not necessarily in that order. It took 47 years, 2.5 years after my mother's death and the end of the will dispute, to begin to live free of abusers and their enablers again. I could not even begin to heal until I was free of them all, and I'm still finding my way in the world like a toddler, which is both awesome and terrifying. And that was in response to an article. We can't keep treating anxiety from complex trauma the same way we treat generalized anxiety. Laura wrote back, I'm not sure which hurts more, being repeatedly molested as a child and raped as an adult, or the callous remarks from my oldest brother, who simply laughed and said, well, you know what they say, stiff dick has no conscience, for which I responded with an angry face. That brother. If he was my brother and he spoke to me like that, I'd probably be in jail. Let's be real here. Let's be real here. Don't ever speak to my friend Laura like that, you animal. I don't know where he is or how to contact him, but by the gods, he's an animal. Laura continued on, or the accusation from my sister, who insisted that I chose to be abused, another animal, like my half-sister too. Or the dismissive remark from my mother, who remarked, don't be ridiculous, who would want to rape you? Another monstrous animal. Yes, I had a mother like that too. Which is why you can see that Laura and I mysteriously and quite miraculously found each other on a public group on Facebook about 6 or 7 years ago, and we have a lot in common as both being survivors of intrafamilial abuse. See 15th of May 2017 for the full story. Here I wrote, "This memory just popped up on my feed, and I'm struck by the synchronicity, as my musings today have been about living gods, ahem, and shit. And yesterday I was showing Crystal my scar, which is now 46 years old. So Facebook algorithms and listening invisible ears noted, laughing my ass off. So this story comes with a trigger warning, which again, I think whoever left to make the cup of tea is hopefully still gone. Child sexual abuse and neglect. The infant Tanya. The baby came into the world, shaken up, disturbed, torn from her mother's womb, premature, lost, confused, dazed, bright lights, voices, noises, people preparing to bring her into the new world. A world she had only heard from the inside out, echoing through the birth chamber, through the walls of her mother's belly, through the screaming and shouting, externalized outside of her, stress, unkindness, regret. She lay there swaddled, waiting for a mother's love. A father came and gathered her into his arms and made sweet promises of devotion, of love, of acceptance. His body was warm and his scent was pungent and masculine and somehow comforting. My father actually did have an amazing scent. He also wore Old Spice, which smells, everyone practically did in the 70s. But he had his own natural, masculine, earthy, I can still almost, if I strain really hard my memory, I can still almost remember his smell. He had an amazing smell, my father. So as a baby, to me, that was safety and love, am I right? What do you know about human men and safety and love when you're a baby? But you're programmed to survive, and you know only the way your parents smell or the way they hold you and the way they look at you and speak to you, and that's how you develop over the first months and first year and 2 years and 3 years and 4 years and 5 years, and then you get to age 6 and all hell breaks loose in your little tiny life. But anyway, I'm segueing from my story here. Let's rewind. He marvelled at her tiny feet and tiny legs and told her how like her mother's they were. But she was only a baby. She didn't even know she had feet or arms. She was only consciousness and hunger and yearning and thirst and a funny rumbling in her tummy that she couldn't quite understand but knew had to be purged. That funny rumbling in the tummy that stayed with her for months. And yes, if you want to read the rest of that story, it's, as I said, posted on Vocal Media under, what did I write down? 15th of May 2017 in my Tanya Aaron's account, will be called Memories, 15th of May 2017. Comments from 15th of July 2017. Rachel Walsh, who's a wonderful supportive friend that lives in Lismore. I've never met in real life, don't think. I bet that was quite healing. It just flowed and flowed. Good to get off your shoulders, so to speak. Love you, beautiful soul, my dear friend Tanya. And I replied, thanks, Rachel. How wonderful, says Rachel Fanucci. How wonderful, how cathartic it must have been. Or is it still in there, still existing, to occasionally surface, reminding you of your painful origins? It does for me. And I replied, there were many more events that did not make it into that piece of prose. Every life on earth is heroic and deserves to be celebrated. Every breath a gift of life in this tumbling, jumbling, regurgitative washing machine of a life. We get thrown around by forces, events, people, not always by choice, but by fate. And the end stage product of all that folly is not always clean, starched and pristine. It's not always a clean, starched and pristine garment, but we flow and glow in our colourful raiment and constantly strive to see what happens. We do, mostly out of curiosity sometimes. It's probably one of the few reasons why I'm still alive. Curiosity, wanting to see how it all ends up at the end. 15th of July 2017, 2:41 a.m, home from a great night at Ecstatic Dance, and after that the casino with Karen, now exhausted but happy. Loving this glorious day with my Beauregard, Harvey and Charlie, giving me lots of affection. Yes, Charlie, you need to go to Betty Bye soon. Grateful, happy and blessed. Harvey is much more settled and is sleeping under the duvet with me. In Australia we're called duvets. Doonas, so sometimes I say doona and sometimes I say duvet. He loves the warmth. I told him that his daddy will be back this afternoon, and he looked relieved and sort of wise and accepting. He was a wreck yesterday, and I felt scared and guilty about going out, so I left him a smelly skirt I had worn for 2 days on a blanket, so he had something to snuggle into while I was out. He also had Bobo for company. I told everyone at Ecstatic Dance that I was stressing about my dogs and how I am an adult and I reserve my right to party, but dogs simply don't comprehend these things. They smiled. I am surrounded by so much love and am grateful for it, but it can be a bit cloying at times. The Tanya needs to run wild with the wolves, the wind, and her own bone-breaking, churning need for freedom. Her sunflower soul blossoms and follows the sunshine. Harvey and Bobo were very forgiving and have been calm and happy since I came home last night. Penny is in bed with the dogs too. Everything is harmonious. There is a very high vibration in the house. I hear a high-pitched tone, but that might just be my brain frying from over-exercise and sleep deprivation. The dogs and Charlie and I had a long walk in the forest yesterday, as well as the dancing at night. My legs feel taut like steel springs about to eject a pilot out of his seat in a crazy nosedive into whatever. I am getting stronger, and I found myself healing others during my ecstatic dance. It was intense. The woman came to thank me and stated she was leaving as her body needed rest. I just nodded, said, "Blessed be," and kept on cavorting, shaking off her negative energy that had caused her distress and shaking off mine as well. It was unexpected and a tad magical, so I think it scared her a bit. All good, not my journey. I just empathised and connected and held her non-verbally with the impression that all is well with her. Weird things happen when you let go and go with the flow. Harvey is glad to see me, and I'm actually in the bath, and he's reaching up and looking at me with great devotion. Back when I had a rose-coloured roses toilet seat. Oh, I'd forgotten about that. I try to jazz up my shitty old bathroom because they won't pay it in its housing commission, so I try to make this house as nice as I possibly can with accessories, you know. But in reality, it needs painting and it needs updating, but they're not going to do that. They're waiting me out till I die, people of Earth. That's the reality. So, fuck them. If they can't take a joke, am I right? I might outlive them all. That'd be really astonishing, wouldn't it? 15th of July 2017. By regarding me having kisses. I've just realised you probably didn't see any of those photos I showed you because I had to move the phone right over to get that on the screen. Oops. If you want to see the photos, if they didn't show up, look on my vocal media under 15th of January and you'll see everything. And probably that, I don't know, that whole story wasn't listed there. Look up that other story too if you want to read that. Anyway, it's not that important. Some of you might like to read it though, so it's there if you want to. I'm not forcing anything on you, people of Earth. My reality is difficult enough to live with in my own body, mind and spirit. If you're here for whatever reason, and you know, I appreciate you taking an interest in my writings and my spiritual path and yeah, my very existence on planet Earth. 15th of July 2016, another trigger warning. Depression, CPTSD, intrafamilial incest, coarse language, treachery, human sexuality. Let's see how much more I've got to go. Right, okay, because this is a long one and I'm running out of breath, people of Earth. I'm running out of puff. Here we go. Let us begin. So tired. I went to sleep at 2:44 a.m, then woke up again at 4 a.m, then again at 7 a.m, now at 9:11 a.m. I had to get up and give Bobo a bone as he won't stop barking and is very actively annoying. I'm lying in bed trying to figure out how I can be so exhausted and so supercharged at the same freaking time. Hormones, trauma, grief, Crondom, or is it another spiritual alignment? Probably all of the above, to be honest. Yesterday was harrowing, but during the night my mood balanced out, pardon me, to a slow hum of what passed for contentment. Oh, how I wish I could find peaceful resolution and contentment. Pardon me. Got hiccups now. It is such a pleasantly mellow vibe, almost addictive, warm, fuzzy, comfortable. There was a time, a long, hard, arduous time, that I never thought this state of being could be possible. It has come as quite a shock. My body is still trying to catch up to the vibe. I guess knowing love is eternal and outliving all my enemies has given me a certain degree of hubris. They thought they could completely annihilate me and get away with it. Well, so they did. But David's quadruple nocturnal emission and or transmission on his way to the next dimension has set me free of that awful, painful past. The part he played in it, his fucking betrayal, gaslighting, backstabbing and collusion that cost me 20 years of my life, my sanity, safety and ultimately my inheritance, cost him dearly too. Kismet. His other cohorts who damaged me and my children will pay too. I have only to be patient. Vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. Let go, let God. God is great, but so am I. What was lost is being regained in honour, beauty, wisdom and integrity. I was torn on the threshing floor of life, beaten, raped, strangled, spat on, love-starved, denied my right to thrive by lesser mortals who set themselves up as healers, gurus and witches of power, weak narcissists of greed, vanity, ego and lust. Weak. In the face of my fury, they crumpled like the shallow, vapoured pack of cards. The Red Queen. But I love you, darling. I always loved you. The Knave. I have a remedy. Is this the most magnificent penis you have ever seen? No. It is just swollen, rotting meat that warmed itself in too many ovens without recourse to a woman's heart and soul. You infantile fuck. The Jabberwocky. Come, stay overnight, Jasmine. I have painted the lavender room just for you. Fucking sociopathic, thieving, lying, pedophile and con artist. I'm referring to my mother's then boyfriend, later husband, by the way. Wooed my greedy narcopath mother with fake internet castles in, laughing out loud, Transylvania, Romania and Hungary, lying, puerile, Dutch Indonesian, Count von Buckula, the schmuck. People with actual castles simply do not steal inheritances for their own children or destroy women and children to gain wealth. Why don't they do that? Because they have their own, you dumb motherfuckers. They are not petty, violent con artists who terrorise via intermediaries and bought and paid for mercenaries. Then the Moroccan versions of Tweedledum and Tweedledee, green-teethed supermarket fucker. He actually did have green teeth at one point, it was disgusting, and he actually did hand out his phone number in the meat aisle of the supermarket. So when I started calling him supermarket fucker, that was actually an appropriate descriptor of him. And his vagina exposing mad fuck of a sister, she actually did that on national TV on a show called Today Tonight. So I'm speaking the absolute truth here, even though it sounds so bizarre that it's only the stuff of a made-up nightmare. It's actually the truth. Quotes, "You were supposed to marry my brother so we could inherit all your mother's money." She actually said that to me. I begged her to stop him from threatening me and my girls with rape and mutilation. Her reply, "No, you deserve it. It's not my fault you can't keep a man." Such debased hatred based on their envy and their greed. I begged and begged, when I really should have just murdered them both and sat in prison for the rest of my life, because it would have been a better outcome than having my children living with that trauma on a daily basis. Finally, I said, "What have you done to me and mine will be done to you. There will be no mercy for you." And once again, I was pissing in the wind because she got away with it, and so did her brother. Then in 2008, she debased herself on national TV. I was awestruck. Also, a little hysterical with schadenfreude. I actually fell off the couch laughing. It was that beyond bizarre, her behaviours. Also, final visible, visceral proof that my God had finally heard my prayers from a decade before, and the smiting, figuratively, metaphorically, spiritually, and even physically, had begun. Why did I have to wait so long? Perhaps God had to know whose heart and mind remained pure and sought the chaff from the wheat. Perhaps, after decades of my suffering, even she, he, and or it, she, it, said, "Enough is enough. Let's cut the Tanya some slack. Let us show her we believe in her as much as she believes in me and or us, as much as she believes in herself." And it really was like that. It's not till I finally started to reclaim myself that karmic justice started being meted out. It was like I finally had been seen and heard and recognised for my struggles. Miracles do happen. I prefer instantaneous lights, bells and whistles ones, like the one that saved me when I fell out of the police academy bus in 2000. That was mysteriously edifying. It was evidence that I am meant to be here. I was so ill that entire year that I barely made it to work most days, freshly traumatised, severely depressed, often suicidal. But when push came to shove, hurtling forwards on my Spanish high heels down the bus steps, about to smash my skull on the curb, I once again chose life. Life was very hard to keep choosing. Still is. But I was never, ever going to let my enemies win by giving them the gift of my life. They took enough from me. Blood-sucking, soul-sucking vampires, spelt the old-fashioned way, vampyres. In the end, it was the Brisbane CBD police with more systemic abuse that almost finished me off at 50. 11 months later, and here I still am, tragically powerful in my strive to survive and thrive in my superpower of no longer giving a fuck. We live but one life at a time. We pass this way only once, but ultimately everything is temporary, which is why we need to keep ourselves precious and keep enough love, mana, respect for ourselves alive to enrich and inspire this dying planet and its inhabitants. Everyone wants to own a piece of the Tanya, but she shimmers and shines. She is like air, like quicksilver. She runs away and repels any or all whom try to control and or contain her. She was not born of woman, even though she was spawned and incubated by one. Meaning I was born by caesarean section, just like Macduff in that play. She was used, manipulated, betrayed, abused, slandered, stolen from, fucked, cheated on, beaten, spat on, denied. But she was also protected enough by a very select few, enough to prolong her life, provided for, gifted, loved, respected, and upheld. Her angels never left her back or side. No, they did not. Not really. In the darkest times of my life, when I thought I was completely alone and all was lost, unbeknownst to me, I had a very, very enormous, powerful angel dragging me along, sometimes by the scruff of my hair, metaphorically speaking. Sometimes they rode shotgun with her. Sometimes they disappeared into other realms, and she screamed into the void, the wind, the tempestuous seas. Help me, help me. The Lord helps those who help themselves. Yeah, right. But with a little help from our friends, He got us through. Glory be to God in the highest. The best sense of humour this side of eternity. I fell off my perch one too many times, but an angel or an eagle or a dragon lifted me up and raised me on high again. Trust in your own life and your ability to heal. Be real, feel, and get back on an even keel. They tried to kill us. We won. Let's eat. Nil carborundum et bastardos. Never let the bastards grind you down. Thank you, Harry Smith, ZL. It means of blessed memory. And Gordon Senator. Your words of whimsical warriors' epithets gave me strength in the darkest of times. I know you all thought me crazy, but the proof is in the pudding, 100%. I have been loved unconditionally by great men and women with vision and honour for me. You make the hundreds that slighted and debased me look ridiculous and pathetic. If only they had not even been allowed to do me so much harm, what might I have been? So this is a fuck you to my detractors and abusers, and a thank you to those few beautiful, loving, spiritual souls who brought me to this season. Grateful, happy woman here. 1,000 kisses and blessings be upon you. You know who you are. Today's Saurus. My Bosch front loader washing machine is leaking. It needs a new rubbery seal thingy, which will probably cost a fortune. It didn't, I got it for $50. But I'm due for a new one now. I hate to think what it costs now. But it lasted 5 years, so that was a wonderful gift from a benefactor. Then I just saw that Mushu has an infected eye, so I went into panic mode and bathed his eye with salt water, like not inside his eye, but just washing the muck away. I will have to keep an eye on his eyeball. It might need veterinary attention. I've spent the last few hours outside in the cold, damp air, cleaning out my fish pond filters and topping up the ponds. Then I gave the front garden a good soaking. Everything is so dry. Rain was forecast for the past few days, but all we got was epic moodiness from the skies and a light sprinkle. I also brought most of my washing in, which I was surprised was dry given how cold, grey and damp the air has been. I also observed another hyacinth bulb has popped up. It was hidden by the straggling carnation. So 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Then I came inside, fed the animals, made a cup of tea, and devoured 4 passion fruits from my garden. They were delicious, happy with my sacred space. I should plant some passion fruits again. I used to love that when I had passion fruits. Shabbat Shalom. Tempted to go to shul in Margaret Street. That would set the cat amongst the pigeons. I haven't davened in a shul in a long time. I wonder if I would even remember the Hebrew blessings. Shomrei times 3, Shabbat Bekore, Oneg Shabbat. Bit of a song there. This little heathen better scrub up, dress up, and show up for her usual celebration of freedom, life, happiness, and go dancing for Oneg Shabbat. I am frozen cold, so might need a steaming hot bath first, just to warm up. Probably should put the heater on since my lungs are betraying me. It's only 12 degrees. I will just finish up and then I'll do that and put Charlie to bed. 15th of July 2015, 3:11 p.m. At the dentist with Lynn and Ali. Little Ali had 2 fillings. Little champion. I feel like all my vitality has been sucked out of me. My energy just ebbs and flows like the tides. Tonight I am unwell yet again. Fatigue and stomach pains. At least the nausea has ended. I'm so worn out from being constantly sick. Stress is killing me slowly and painfully. This too must pass. 15th of July 2014. I had a beautiful night with my beautiful friend Lynn last night. She sport me rotten feeding my exhausted Valkyrie spirit with 2 huge helpings of chili con carne on rice. I hoovered the food like a newly rescued sailor on a deserted island. We then went down to her pergola and we built the fire in her chimenea and we sat and chatted happily, enjoying the beams, which although already waning, had a huge corona. It was a beautiful sight. At the end of our evening, Lynn gifted me with an eagle feather that she found after she rescued a sick sea eagle. Another huge mojo blessing for me, and a packet of 4 tiny metal Viking warriors she bought for me at the medieval festival. I am delighted and grateful. I slept all day today and am still a tad weary, but the night is mine. I see we got a bit of rain, which is ironic as I watered the backyard yesterday. Good to see the heavens had a little purge of its pregnant waters. We need the rain. Not too much, but a good, healthy, regular soaking. And here I write, at Irish Murphy's with Joe and Barry, Woody's strutting his stuff tonight. Woot. And a former Irish Murphy's friend wrote, you live there, ha ha. And I wrote, lol, yes I do. I should rent a room here and read fortunes to pay for my drinks and my spot, laughing my ass off. And she replied, yep, I dare ya, lol. Barry wrote, I'm hanging with the girls. And that particular woman wrote back, yay, I'm in bed watching Winners and Losers. 15th of July 2013. I posted a photo which was actually from May 2013. Whee! Me with Alia, one of those magic moments. Me jumping up and down on the trampoline with little Ali, who is now 15 or 16 now. I can never remember exactly how old she is. I think she's 15. Here I write, it was one of those magic moments of crazy spontaneity. I just felt like leaping about for joy that day, so I joined Ali on her trampoline. Just after Lynn took the pic, we fell down and giggled and cuddled for a while. Ali is an amazingly bright, super energetic kid. She's accustomed to her mad Auntie Tanya arriving, having a cup of tea, then going for a nap while she pats me to sleep. So it was quite a lovely twist for her to see me bouncing my inner child on her trampoline. I told her some grown-ups never grow up. They just get older, tired, and sometimes silly. She thought that was funny. I am happy and drunk on a bottle of cheap red wine after my 2-day growth. I was happy before, but there is something to be said about the freewheeling rush of alcohol and fermented grapes in my discombobulated brain. By the way, I'm not an alcoholic. I just enjoy writing about my occasional tipples, you know. There's no harm in that. Heidi, if you see this, tell my undead traitor of a sister, Angela, who declared me dead 2 years ago, that I am very much alive, and Desiree, which is my middle name, is back in the Game of Thrones. She and her ilk failed to kill me, so the bitch is very much back, babies. We could say the same of even date 2024, couldn't we? I don't even know if my half-sister would even know what the Game of Thrones was. It's not the sort of show she'd watch. She's too posh for that kind of thing. Fucking idiot that she is. But anyway, never mind. I have slept all day. I had a lovely time last night at dinner with the two... I don't even want to say that name. Too late, nearly slipped it out anyway. With the two Sarahs at Montezuma's. Then coffee at Garden City. I was really exhausted, but it was nice to see them back when they were actually not backstabbing, treacherous, evil fucking dogs. But never mind. We've moved on since then. We have. They're still creatures, but we've moved on. 15th of July, 2010. Last night, I stayed up until 2 a.m. Today, I achieved nothing. I guess there's always tomorrow. I posted more info to my lawyer today, so I felt really drained and bitter from it all. I can see why lesser mortals just give up and walk away, because it's all too grueling, but I will live to fight another day. This shot makes me feel like a fuzzy, fluffy bumblebee about to rape the tulip of all its nectar. So pretty. And yes, it was indeed pretty. Here we go. Looking right into the throat of the red tulip. Did you just shit on me? Yes, you did, Charlie. That's not very nice, Charlie. It's not nice at all what you're doing. Oh well. The difference is, Charlie, when you shit on me, it's not any real malintent behind it. It's just a body function, as opposed to when humans shit on me. It's a different level of shittiness, is it not, my darling? But never mind. They have to live with their karma, and I'm enjoying my life now, aren't I, people of Earth? Making my videos and dancing my dance and enjoying the sweet affections from true friends, and had a wonderful time with Jared today, picking up. He was finding bits of sea glass for me and all the shells. I told you that earlier, but there was just something so sweet. Like, we haven't done that in a long time, where we just, our inner children coming out to play and just enjoying being by the sea. It was... Thank you, Jared. I needed that fresh sea air and grounding and earthing and, the camaraderie and the comfort of your sweet, sweet brotherly love of 32 years, by the way. 32 years we've been friends. 32 years and 5 months now. Here's another lovely photo of my jonquils. Woohoo! I won a book from J-Wire. So happy as I never win anything. Looking forward to reading The Mystery of You. And my auntie Sylvia Shine's son, Adrian Shine, wrote a real mystery prize. Well done. For once he wasn't being sort of sarcastic and kind of weird with me. He actually wished me well. Oh well. I don't hate him or anything. Like, he's my auntie Sylvia's son. We were friends, and he actually introduced me to my dead shit husband. So technically I should actually hate him, but I don't. It's just fate and destiny and the cards that were dealt me, and 25 years of therapy has taught me that schmucky babes come and schmucky babes go, and all I have to do is just keep on dancing and enjoying the mystery. And on that beautiful note, gorgeous ones, beloved ones, friends, family, subscribers, and those few enemies that watch with great schadenfreude and, I don't know, jerk off in a corner at my sadder, more confronting, more disturbing stories that are all true. But I don't worry about those kind of entities because they're psychic vermin and they hold no power over me. So I concentrate on the good that's in my life, the beautiful people, the beautiful people, the beautiful people, am I right? The ones with real heart and real soul and real honour and integrity and respect for me. And the ones who are sweet and kind and nurturing and soul nourishing and loving and affectionate. And, the sarcastic, sardonic, picking wings off flies type psychopathic imps. Your loss, motherfuckers. That's all I got to say about that. And either way, it's a life and it's a mystery. And I honour the ones that are worthy of being honoured, like Sylvia Shine, beautiful woman. And, may she rest forever in peace with the ever-loving arms of the Ein Sof. And the ones that aren't worthy of honour, well, I just maintain my truth about the roles they played in my life. And it is what it is. And then I, over time, sometimes let it go and sometimes I don't, depending on how much cumulative evil they piled up on my body, mind and spirit. But at the end of the day, we've got to enjoy each day that's gifted us by the gods or the Holy One in all manifestations. And at the end of the day, what did Metallica say? Nothing else matters. Just live the best version of your life that you possibly can, given your constraints. And hold your head up high and just keep moving forwards, babies. Sometimes it's a dance. Sometimes it's crawling on broken glass and the detritus of destruction such as never ever befallen humanity before. But on we go and on we go, hoping to build a brighter future for all of us. So, bye for now. Much love from Titania's realm and her sacred space.